Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for July 20th, 2009. This is Patrick Ceresna. First off, I want to take a look at the S&P 500 using that Spider Exchange Traded Fund symbol SPY. And more or less we were looking after that measured move on the downside for that 86 to 88 focal point to actually be held on the downside. We were also stating that it was very unlikely that that head and shoulders formation was actually going to complete, as it was too well advertised. So, and under those circumstances, we were anticipating the markets to return to the top end of the range of that summer trade range bound market. The one thing that we want to highlight, and now that that has actually happened, the buying that came back in here has been very strong, and the follow-through has definitely been there. And one of those things that we can't rule out at this stage is that we have a continuation in the pattern that actually breaks above this 93 to 96 zone and actually continues higher up toward the 1000 level. Even if that scenario was to occur where that measured move lies in a 98 to 100 zone, realistically after a very robust 5-day rally, it is quite possible that we first have to have a pullback off of this 93-96 zone before in fact the markets have enough energy to make that break higher. Nonetheless, we'll be watching for when the sell cycle does come in here. If the selling is very shallow and there's no follow through on it, then when the buyers come back in, they could make a robust push back to even a higher level on the market. Next here I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is the symbol JLO. And more or less this index did have a few days of rallying off of that 15-16 level, but the one thing that's very evident is that there's simply no follow through in these regional banks. This is certainly a sector that we're not anticipating to do very well during an upside push in the markets, and it should continue to lag. That doesn't particularly mean it's outright bearish here, but certainly we're not looking for any optimistic upside move here. Next here I want to take a look at a chart of the Sindex, which is the symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies, and that support level held, which is now labeled as the 82 to 85 focal point on the downside there. And we are now seeing a reversal back on the upside. The buying has been coming in quite strong here, and there certainly is room for upside follow through. The first target that we have is a retest of the 97 to 100 zone on the upside. It's quite possible we just reject over there, but if we are looking for a much broader based market rally that lasts, with the S&P going all the way up to the 1000 level or more, then it's quite possible that the Sindex may not only break above 100 but achieve a target all the way up into the 105 to 110 zone on the upside. Next here I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is the symbol RUF, and after placing some bottoms around the $7 area, we started a very robust 5-day rally, which has us testing up into the 825 to 850 zone, where it put in highs around the December 2008, January 2009 period. And at this stage, this may be an initial overhead resistance level, but it's not a very strong one. Realistically, even though it might consolidate here temporarily, more than likely we are going to push for a retest all the way up into the 925 to 950 area on the upside. And even if the follow through on the upside is good, we can't rule out even a push to a higher high here. Next here I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is the symbol FUM, and we found a very good bottom right at that 65-68 zone on the downside and followed through with about 6 days of a nice rally up on the upside. Really at this stage If this continues to have follow through, we are looking for at minimum a retest back up into the 92 to 94 zone. But if in fact this is a bigger picture rally, the measured moves go all the way up into the 100 to 110 zone. So we'll be looking for a lot of information in the upcoming weeks here, as if we want to see pullbacks being contained and buyers coming back in with some momentum, and if it is, then we can target all sorts of higher zones. And finally, I want to take a look at that ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is the symbol UKX. And one thing that is clear here, last week we stated that in fact this index may reverse before reaching our 400 downside target, because the S&P 500 itself was at a major support resistance zone, and we were suggesting that if the broader markets were to rally, the FTSE would start a rally in unison with that, even in spite of not being at a key support level. And so we got that reversal off that mid-range. Now we labeled that as the 410 to 420 focal point. At minimum, we're anticipating a retest back up into the 450, 455 focal point on the upside, but also in the same respects as the other indices we've been looking at, measured move on the upside can actually have it extend all the way up into the 460 to 475 zone on the upside. So there still is room for some more upside move in this index. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.